Hello, or dawntrail society quests. I think this will be the last one for the video I'm making for it. What am I going to do? I can't seem to find anyone up to the task. Oh, yo, you have the wonderful habit of appearing exactly when I need you. Got a problem on my hands. Don't worry, the agency's doing just fine. The Earthenshire tours have been a runaway success, and if bookings stay steady, we'll soon recoup all the recent outlays. Well, that's actually the problem. The upper reaches of Kozamuka are proving too popular. We're struggling to meet the demand with our current number of tour guides. I want to address the issue before the burden starts wearing the staff down. You aren't aware of anyone in need of work who knows the region like the back of their hand, are you? Certain bandit game. You don't mean the bandits who kidnapped Don Soviet work Lamont during the Rite of Succession. I'm sure they know the area well, but... hold on. I do remember hearing about a group of miscreants who turned themselves into the Lance Guard. Not after the Ascension ceremony. Apparently they were released on parole. Suppose if they're willing to atone for their crimes and genuinely wish to make a fresh start. My inner abacus is clacking away. It says we should speak with them at the very least. Reduce the strain on our staff. Have former bandits give back the community to the communities they wronged. Yes, everyone stands to gain much from a potential arrangement. Would you be willing to help track down these bandits? I knew I could count on you. Let's head to Many Fires and see what we can glean from the locals. You seek news of the bandits let out on parole. Sneaky talkers, a lot of them. They spread many bad feels in the village with their crimes. Cheese was not for them. A Apparently, they were eye-catched not long ago. Mommy dreads to think about the inevitable recidivism. I hope that they have time to reflect on the wrongness of dirty talkings and are ready to make an honest living. Has Mobby heard Wind talk of bandits? I'm afraid not. These parts have been peaceful of late, plenty of time to fish. Although I did catch a scrawny fisher in the woods not far from Deceiver's Mantle. A Tanawata with crazy hair as bright as giant jingly shine. I wonder who he was. My goodness, it's you. You came here with the Dawn servant Koana seeking information about the bandit that waylaid me. Is there anything I can help you with this time? You should know what happened to Waweska on his band of brigands after all that. Well, I gather they surrendered to the Lance Guard. They even confessed to the whereabouts of their stolen goods, that everything might be returned to their rightful owners. Sure enough, my merchandise made its way back to me. Apparently, some of their victims were so moved by the gesture that they petitioned the Lance Guards for a more lenient sentence. Perhaps that's why Val Lamont granted them parole. I don't know how they fared thence, but I've heard nothing to suggest they've been causing trouble. Anyhow, you'll have to excuse me. I must meet with a client in Europacha. I do hope we meet again someday. Any news of our bandits? So they turned themselves in, returned their stolen goods, and are now living in the wilds after being pardoned. What's more, it seems they haven't fallen back into old habits. Let's make for the woods to the south. That's where the angler spotted Wawaska, right? Hopefully we'll run into them there. I must admit, I regret being so bold, but then again, what do I have to fear with Yuma by my side? Starting to think I'm not cut out for fishing. A man can't live off scrounging berries forever. What to do? Ah, you're that salted devil of a sellsword. Listen, I turned myself in, even gave back what I stole. Put that light behind me for good. What's more could you possibly want from me? I have a proposition for you. And why should I trust you? You're here to get revenge for the kidnapping, aren't you? I assure you, as my associate says, we really do have a proposition for you. I'm Luke. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'll get straight to the point. If you're serious about keeping to the straight and narrow and making amends for your past crimes, perhaps you'd like to work with us at the Turali Travel Agency. Work for you? Ah, I see your scheme. Plotting to haul me off to the mines under the guise of employment, aren't you? Curse you, black hearts. I ate dirt to survive after I escaped. I won't set foot inside another mine while there is still breath in my lungs. Wait. That was unexpected, and all that talk of mines. He seemed genuinely traumatized. Yo, I want you to find out what happened to him. Hopefully that way we can clear up this misunderstanding and have a proper discussion. I hate to ask, but could you find Wakesa and bring him back here? He was awfully fast, but I doubt he could outrun you. There you are. I don't care how fast they are, they'll never find me here. But, what now? How? Unbelievable. I ran full pelt and yet, what the use? Listen, I know what we did was inexcusable, but after it came to a head, we made an oath never to walk that path again. I won't bother another soul. I'll live out my days on the fringes. Please, just leave me be. You're saying this is all a misunderstanding. Well, it's clear there's no escaping you regardless. Fine, I'll hear you out then. And put my fate in your hands. That is a cool chocobo mount. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Your associate says she wants to talk, and I'm prepared to listen. I apologize if we frightened you, Wawaska. That wasn't our intention. Are you willing to tell us why you fled? Before we get to that, I want to be honest. Do you really have a proposition for me that doesn't involve dragging me back to those godforsaken mines? In that case, I'll be honest with you. Me and the rest of the gang first came here after fleeing Yaxteral. I'm sure I don't need to tell you, but Looney's been a hotbed of development since they found blue gold beneath the plains. Among the folk that got their hands on a drilling permit, there were more than a few folks looking to get rich quick. The kind of despicable bastards who didn't think twice about sending kids into the tunnels. And we worked for the worst of the worst. Day after day, toiling and wasting away, till we died or escaped. We eventually realized, so we smuggled ourselves out in an empty cerulean barrels. You can imagine what happened next. The vitriol of foreman tried to hunt us down, so we fled to Kozumauka and took to banditry. So much to conceal our identities as to make ends meet. As much to conceal our identities as to make ends meet. Right or wrong, be damned, we would survive. But when we heard that Dawn servant Wick Lamont spoke of our plight during the Ascension ceremony, we decided to turn ourselves in. After a time, she showed us mercy and gave us a pardon. Even so, there's still that fear of what might happen if the foreman of his lackeys were to find us. Thank you for sharing your story and telling me of the struggles you and your friends have experienced. Let me assure you that I do not wish to bind you with contracts or chains. I offer only the opportunity for you and your comrades to provide for yourselves, to make an honest living on your own terms. So how about it? How does working at the Turali Travel Agency sound? That's more than any of us dared hope for. But if word gets back to the foreman, someone shows up to haul us away and we drag you into our affairs, I'll need to look into it to be sure, but I honestly don't think there's much chance of that happening. Thanks to the efforts of the Dust Watch and the Daybreakers, Shandalanawani is no longer the lawless place it used to be. Besides, I've been working on a plan to help reintegrate former outlaws into society. I'll be sounding out the wing of reflection to see if they can't support the initiative. I'm sure the new Dawn servants will be give their blessings. Incredible, but it feels like we should be begging you for the opportunity. We've burned so many bridges. I'll make damn sure you don't regret this. That said, what exactly are we supposed to do for you? About all we're good for is manual labor and pathfinding. Though I do also know my way around the cook fire after feeding miners for all those years. This wasn't part of the plan, per se, but I think your culinary skills might come in handy. A restaurant on site could be a real earner. As for your comrades, we've been looking for individuals with an intimate knowledge of upstream Kozumauka, who are also capable of handling themselves. My plan was to employ them as guides turned protectors after a thorough assessment and proper training. I'd say it's about time we got back in continued operations. Oeska can meet us back at the agency and Doc Poga once he contacts his friends. Man, that guy just blew through that cutscene like it didn't matter. But, fuck it, play how you want. Fuck it, I'm flying there. This place is beautiful with the trees. Real honest work. Something tells me we won't get another chance like this. Welcome back, yo. I reached out to the Wing of Reflection and it was just as I thought. Seems Bowesko's fears were unfounded. The situation in this Cerulean Fields has changed dramatically in the past few years. Groups like the Daybreakers have put an end to the practice of child labor, and the Dust Watch have all but stamped out the violent duels that used to be so common. As for the company you and your comrades worked for, they have long since been shut down by the Daybreakers. For its part, the Wing of Reflection is committed to the restoration and preservation of law and order in Shalaluni. Any new unscrupulous drilling operations are swiftly dealt with. You needn't worry about anyone coming after you. Thank the heavens for that. In that case, we can commit to doing our part in repaying our debts. We've decided to set aside some of our earnings and repay folk for all the hurt we caused, you see. Wonderful, simply wonderful. It's a pleasure to have you on board. Hey, boy can cook. Thanks to the efforts of Flipu and her special advisor, Oeska and his comrades have agreed to join the Terrell Travel Agency. With this influx of new recruits, the shortage of staff that had threatened to curtail expansion into Earthenshire has been resolved. While his former crewmates begin their training as guides, Waweska himself will be devising a menu of delicious local dishes as head chef of the agency's brand new eatery. Be sure to assist him and his crew of former brigands on their road to rehabilitation. No. Yes. Okay. That's gonna do it for this video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Yep. Dawntrail Society Quest. Let's get to it. Yep. Oh yo, good to see you. Have you heard? The new eatery is a roaring success. It seems Waweska's time as a cook in Shaloni exposed him to all kinds of cuisines. Excuse me. The young fellow is both surprisingly skilled and commands an impressive repertoire. His comrades, too, have spoken worthwhile additions, having taken to well to guide work. Besides that, there's been an interesting development. You remember Tessia, the Wing of Reflection representative, don't you? Our very first customer. Well, we were discussing my initiative to support former outlaws, and all of a sudden he tells me there was something he wished to discuss in person. He's on his way back to Doc Poga as we speak. I hope he can join me for the discussion. He ought to be here any moment now. Thank you for setting aside your time to meet with me. Tessia, it's fun to see you again. You seem in a fine fettle indeed. Likewise, it's heartening to see you and the business doing so well. The strides you've made since my first visit are remarkable. Your expansion into upstream Kozamuka with flying punities was quite the feat, and your decision to employ former bandits has done much for the wider community. A superb achievement. You know that my colleagues back in Toliola are equally impressed. Last time I was here, I spoke of our position on tourism and foreign relations. It is with regards to that the Wing of Reflection would seek your assistance. But of course, my inner abacus is clacking away and it's urging me to do everything I can to support you. We'd love nothing more than to show foreign guests the delights Toral has to offer. Although visitors from overseas are still few and far between, what exactly would you have us do? You are aware that Turliolo recently entered into an alliance with Razatan, as it so happens, we've received a visitor from the city-state. When we told her about the Turali travel agency, she expressed an interest in experiencing the region for herself. Would you be willing to provide one of your tours? It'd be our pleasure. Fortunately, we have a slot available. Excellent. The visitor's name is Basafent. She is of the Ura, a people known for their curved horns and ornate scales. I should also mention that she's an alchemist by trade. I shall return to Toliola and inform her of the plan at once. I'll procure an alpaca porter for her journey. If you could attend her when she arrives, I'd be much obliged. We'll be ready and waiting. To think the Wing of Reflection would entrust us with the nation's honored guests. What better way to promote Torala as a premature tourist destination? We wouldn't be in the position if it weren't for you and all your hardworking staff. Now then, we can't leave anything to chance. We'll need to be fully prepared for Raspin's arrival. I don't suppose you visited Razadhan. I'd like to learn as much as I can about our guest homeland. Of course, I needn't have asked. I'm not surprised at the least that our special advisor has traveled so far and wide. From what I've heard, the climate of Thavnir is similar to that of Kozamuka, so I presume our guests will not be overwhelmed by the heat and humidity. My primary concern is the local cuisine. Would you mind speaking with Boleska and sharing your knowledge of Hainish fare with him? It may inspire him to prepare a suitable menu. Dope armor. Alright. Hey there. Anything I can help you with? It's an honor to welcome our guests from across the salt. Putting together a menu to suit their tastes ought to make for a fun challenge. So what might one find at the dinner table at Radsadhan? Dude, I don't remember what. I think all of these are right. I'm gonna go with the Danish spirits. Fond of their brews, are they? Kazamuka isn't famed for its liquor. I suppose I'd have to turn to the Pellu and the Mezcal. In any event, I'll whip a meal that puts local flavors front and center, and work in a few flourishes to suit our guests. Let Lipu know I've got this covered. Welcome to Kozamuka. Raspafent, I presume. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Liplu, the founder of the Turali travel agency. I'll be your tour guide. Thank you for accommodating me at such short notice. I'm Raspafent, yes, and I represent the Haiku people of Alamikia, Razan's state-sponsored alchemical workshop. Oh, and you're Yo, aren't you? What a coincidence. Forgive me, you must not remember. I'm one of the alchemists you met at the Great Work. My associates and I examined your friend Estinian. Oh yeah. Ah, I see you already know each other. Well, I think it's a little more one-sided than each other suggests. The people at Ratsan know all of Thavnir and beyond owe a debt of gratitude to you. The same goes for all of us here in Tirali at the Tirali Agency. She's done so much to support our enterprise, not to mention the nation at large. Incredible. Fate certainly works in mysterious ways. I couldn't agree more. Seeing as how the two of you are already acquainted, perhaps you'd care to join us on the tour. She'll have her own personal protector. Wonderful. Allow me to escort you to your room, Rasputin. I'm sure you'll want to unpack your belongings. But do you mind waiting here? We'll be back in no time. I can't wait to see what Kozamuka has to offer. This is gonna be marvelous. Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's get going, shall we? That was a cool montage. What a splendid place. Raspa's satisfaction is written plain on our face. I'm deeply indebted to the agency and all its hardworking staff. I'm so relieved everything went off without a hitch. And who'd have thought we'd get to watch the Hanu rehearsing for the next Inahana? I can only hope Raspa enjoyed her experience as much as I believe she did. I want to thank you all for everything you've done. This was a true delight. The climates may be similar to that of Thavnir, but the native flora has been a sight to behold. Speaking as an alchemist, there were so many intriguing specimens, such potential. And the people and their culture. It was fascinating to learn how the Hanu use reed woven floats to channel their magics during rites and rituals. Oh, and the punities were simply adorable. This will make for a very engaging account when I report back to Vitra. Our two nations may have forged an alliance, but the ink has barely begun to dry on the parchment. Indeed, it was thanks to the efforts of the Scions that an agreement was reached at all. It would be presumptuous to claim that Toliolol and Ratsahan truly understand one another yet, which is why the satrap sent me to explore the potential for other mutually beneficial arrangements and to confirm the friendship between our nations will stand the test of time. The Hanu and their unique magical traditions, the plant specimens you spoke of, you think this knowledge would benefit Radsadan? If we're able to maintain relations and encourage the flow of people between our nations, Radsahan stands to gain a great deal. Of that, I'm certain. Besides, there's so much more I wish to learn about this land. I plan on spending the rest of my time here doing just that. Wonderful, simply wonderful. When you return to Radsahan, I hope you let everyone know what a great place Kazamuka is to visit, or better yet, the whole of Terral. I definitely will. Well, I suppose we should head back to the agency. You just leave the rest to us. We'll make sure the remainder of Raspen's stay is truly unforgettable. Raspen is resting in her quarters. I must say, I'm relieved the tour ended without incident. Thank you for everything you've done. For our visiting alchemists, I dare say Kozamuka's vegetation seemed like a veritable cornucopia. And any discoveries made via the Alliance will benefit Toliolol as much as Radsahan. Indeed, this type of exchange is precisely what the Wing of Reflection had hoped for. I shall make my proposal to Dawn Servant Koana as soon as I return to the capital. There's no doubt in my mind the tourism industry deserves our official backing, and once we may offer it, I shall have the commemorative monument erected to make this clear to one and all. Your support means a great deal, but I can't underestimate the role Yo and the people of Kozamuka had to play in our success. Their happiness is just as important to me. The pell we earn must serve to enrich the community, which is why I can't rest on my laurels for even a moment. Thanks to the travails of Bliplu and her associates, the Turali Travel Agency is on the cusp of receiving official backing from the Wing of Reflection. The future is bright for Tural's incipient tourism industry, with the Pelu principle of maturity, mutually beneficial trade underpinning the endeavor. Where tourists tread, happiness is soon to follow. Nice. Wait, was that the end of it, though? No, it wasn't. Oh, okay. But this might be the end of the video. If it is, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.